I like dogs, dogs are cool, I got two. I like dogs, dogs are cool, I got two. I like dogs, dogs are cool, I got two. I like dogs, dogs are cool, I got two. This dog is big, this dog is little. Two dogs on the end, man in the middle. This dog is big, this dog is little. Two dogs on the end, man in the middle. I like dogs, dogs are cool, I got two. I like dogs, dogs are cool, I got two. I like dogs, dogs are cool.
How are you going to play that right before the show opens?
We're live.
Hey, everybody, how you doing tonight? Just to let you know, I also like dogs. We have two or more outside right now. Welcome to a brand new Ike Live show. It's going to be a fabulous show tonight, I guarantee you. We've got a lot of amazing people coming through tonight, right on the heels of the Ike Foundation event happening a couple days away. To my right is the one and only Dave Brodzik, a.k.a. Worf, a.k.a. Fathead, a.k.a. Stormtrooper. Dave, how you doing tonight?
Excellent. Thanks for asking.
Good. Do you have more AKAs than anybody else on the Ike Live crew?
Soon to be Hobie World's qualifier.
Whoa! Big prediction going on there. Big prediction. Come on in. You're all right. Listen to me. It's going to be a great show tonight. Hang in there with us. Probably in about 5 or so minutes, you're going to see some amazing stuff happen right here. Let's start the show as we always do. We want to thank our sponsors. The presenting sponsor of Ike Live, Mystery Tackle Box, MTB. It's like Christmas to your doorstep once a month. We're going to be doing a very special unboxing tonight. This happens to be the only live web podcast that does a live unboxing. We're going to do it tonight.
Yep.
And it's the Elite Mystery Tackle Box. Dave, It's going to blow you away when you open that thing. It's
Can't
sealed.
Wait.
Oh, dude, you're going to be blown away.
I actually will also be the first person on the podcast to have to bring a bait that I got from Mystery Tackle Box. It was key, instrumental in the tournament. I don't know which bait it is. I'm going to have somebody help me with it.
Wow. Just to give you a little preview of what you're going to see when we open this thing, the new Elite Box features premium, higher end brands, Dave. Better baits, better stuff, newer techniques. You're going to discover all that, and it's the best value.
Did you say Discover?
Discover.
Oh.
It's
He can discover it.
Right.
well over $60 in product, and you get it for $39.99.
Dag.
If you use the promo code Ike Live when you sign up to Mystery Tackle Box, you're going to get an amazing discount. That is, I don't know what it is, but you're going to get an amazing discount.
Type it.
It's not on the note sheet.
It's pretty sweet, though.
It is sweet.
It's like 50%.
Better than most.
It's really good. So use promo code Ike Live. Also brought to you by Liquid Mayhem. Dude, scent is important. If you fish and you want to get more bites, you got to use scent. Try Liquid Mayhem. We've got brand new clear Liquid Mayhem, Dave, and we're going to be giving away 2 bottles tonight during our contest. The crawfish, and we're giving away, and also we've got the leech that we're giving away. I know how much you like the leech scent.
Love the leech. Don't sleep on the red, though, for crawl. I know we're going clear with
Right?
it, but don't sleep on the red for the
red's
crawfish.
Great. The red is great, especially in the spring. Also brought to you by Hobie Kayaks. Hobie Kayaks are the Cadillac of kayaks, and kayak fishing is changing the world right now. In fact, we've got a couple special guests in the house tonight. Guy by the name of Carl something and a guy by the name of Ron something. I don't want to give it away, but 2 really amazing kayak anglers here tonight to talk about their Hobie kayaks. So stay tuned. You're going to find out why you need to get in a Hobie kayak. Dave, who else we got here? Oh, wait, it's not Dave. Who is this? Hudley?
Newsflash. If you're not using flambeau boxes, you are a tool. Waterproof, rust-proof, floating boxes that will secure your tackle. Hudley Crockett out.
Thank you, Hudley. Also brought to you by TH Marine, the makers of amazing boat accessories. Whether you have a canoe, a kayak, 12-foot john boat, a bass boat, or a biggie small yacht, TH Products have something for you. We've also got a special guest tonight named Ott something that will be telling us about his favorite TH product, Dave. That's exciting.
He may have the longest drawn-out name of anyone when you hear Chris Jones say it from FLW.
Chris Jones.
Ott Defoe.
Oh, he does. He does. Brought to you by Tackle Warehouse. Everybody I know uses Tackle Warehouse. If you purchase anything over $50, use the promo code Ike Live for free shipping.
Wow.
Fact.
Dum.
Nobody told me that.
That's true. Brought to you by Line Cutters. Line Cutters is an amazing product. We've got a ring and a flush mount. Cuts line like butter. Go to linecutters.com.
And at the ICAST, they released the zipper pull.
They did.
Yes.
Yes. Line
Pretty
Cutters
dope.
zipper pull, brand new. Put it on your bag. Put it on your fanny pack. It's perfect. Use the
Put
promo.
on your pants.
Put on your pants. Use the promo code Ike Live Rules 20% off your line cutter purchase on linecutters.com. Dave, who else is helping us out?
I don't know, because Brian printed one sponsor sheet.
Oh, is that how it is?
How you gonna axe me?
Well, you're in Pete's seat. Do you want to do the Bash University?
Sure.
promo?
So subscribe
Make
to
it up. Make it up.
Absolutely. So subscribe to Bash UTV.
Use promo code TRYBU.
Promo code Pete's Not and get 98% off. And,
TRYBU.
Go ahead, Brian. Take it over.
TRYBU, TRYBU.
Yeah.
For 10 days free.
Wow.
And right now they're running a WeGo discount, which is on your page there, Mike. It is, I don't know, 20%, 15%? Shoot.
Yeah, 15% off of
15% off of
WeGo
WeGo
for all BU
Jump
subscribers.
Starter.
Yes.
And Pete's Not for 98%.
That's right. And last but not least, brought to you by Traeger Girls. If you watched the Facebook feed earlier, you saw all the amazing meat that we cooked, and we're all going to have burps and farts tonight. And thank you, Traeger. It's amazing. It's really good. Listen to me. Great show tonight. Hang in there with us. So many amazing professional anglers and other guests in the house tonight. I can't even name them all. Hang in there with us when we come back. A brand new Ike Live show. Come on. Let's go.
Warning! The following live webcast might contain content that some people find crude, vulgar, or objectionable. When watching this program, please make sure the room is well lit and do not sit too close to the screen. If you're uptight, easily offended, or lacking a sense of humor, please stop watching right now and leave the internet. Now it's time for Ike Live.
What is this foolishness?
How many dreams can you shape in a minute, an hour?
The kind of clean you like best.
Lost 3 of my teeth, too. All right, sir, you lost. Next time you win.
Steamy, hot, hearty, delicious, invigorating.
Hey, that's on now.
Folks at home, how you doing tonight? I hope you're having a wonderful Thursday. I know I am. Welcome to a brand new Ike Live show. Man, we've got a special one for you in store tonight. So many good people in the house tonight. It makes me all warm and fuzzy. I'm serious. And sitting to my right, he looks a little different since you saw him on BU Live at ICAST last week, but
Yeah.
the one and only Pete Glusick. Pete, how you doing tonight? Good to see you.
I'm glad to be here.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, I guess I'm here every week, so it's really
Yeah.
not that different that I'm here.
The two things I noticed directly would be the beard and the accent.
Yeah.
It's a little more southern than your normal Jersey twang.
It is. I've converted. I've moved south a little bit. I've got a place down there I've been staying.
Right.
And it's I guess it's kind of rubbed off. And
Right.
and also the sun is taking. I mean, it's taking a lot of weight off.
I see that.
Now, what do you mean a lot?
Well, I mean,
How much weight are you talking?
I don't really want to put a number on it because I'm not done yet.
Yeah.
But
Right.
it's good. I'm not. I didn't wait to start. I'm one of those kinds. I don't want to see exactly the progression on the
Yeah.
scale. I'm not a numbers guy.
Right.
I just want to feel good at the end of the day.
I see that.
And I'm feeling a lot better.
And I noticed two other things. You got a lot less wrinkles, a lot less gray, which is interesting.
It is, yeah.
And where's the coffee cup with the rum in it?
I've traded that out for this episode's actually brought to you by Deer Park. Deer Park Water. So, yeah.
Well, if you were really Pete Glusick, that would be vodka and not water. But Ott Defoe, everybody. Ott in the house with us tonight. Playing co-host. How you doing tonight, Ott?
I'm good. Good
Mike. To see you, man.
Thank you for having us. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for coming.
I'm not sure what the kids are doing upstairs, or Jenny for that matter, but the last I saw them, they were in Becky's closet trying stuff on. So.
Yeah. I'm not worried about Jenny. I am slightly worried about the kids running amok, but I'm not worried about it. I want to just jump in. We're going to introduce the room real quick, but on a scale from 1 to 10, I'm going to get into this more. On a scale from 1 to 10, what would you rate your season so far?
My season, I would personally rate it a 7.
A 7,
maybe 7.5. Yeah, because I've had so many opportunities to make it better.
Yeah.
And it's, 90% of it's been my own fault.
Right.
And that's, if I had capitalized on every opportunity, I could be in 20th in the points.
Right.
Let's say it was a 9.
Yeah.
But because I've had so many opportunities to make it better, and they've slipped through my hands.
Well, we're gonna get back to that. And I actually disagree. I'm gonna give you an 8.5 to a 9, in my opinion. That would be my number.
Okay.
Listen, also joining us tonight, and I'm going to introduce him right now. On the casting couch tonight, looking so comfy, with our headsets that hardly work, they don't fit. The mic, you got to eat the mic to get it to cooperate with you. We've got you know him from their fishing, from their world travels on social media. Carl Jacobson on my left.
What's up, Carl?
Kayla Polnick on my right. Guys, thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
So excited to have you here in the studio. Thank you, man. It's going to be awesome. We're going to talk a little about, Carl, we had some stuff, and we got to be a little secretive on what we've been doing the last few days. But we can talk a little bit about
the fishing.
We'll talk about the fishing.
Yeah. Okay.
And we'll generally talk about why we were here the last few days. And excited to have you here.
It's awesome. Yeah, it's been a couple years. I think we're here 3 years ago. 2
years
years ago.
For the very first one.
Yes,
we were in.
the original.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's cool. It's been good. We got here a little bit early, got to hang out, got to do some fishing. And
it's nice, isn't it?
It's good to be here. Yeah.
So what's the real reason you're here? We're not on, so you can just...
Fishing.
The
Ike tournament.
Fishing.
Okay.
You got to do the wink as you're doing it.
Okay.
You got to do the wink.
Okay.
Back in the booth tonight of the man that makes everything happen, the one and only Brian the Carpenter.
Yep.
And Brian, I don't know if you knew this, but you are, we threatened that you were quasi-famous for a long time.
It's happening.
We saw you signing autographs at ICAST, which is so strange. We saw you doing some weird stuff, very, very strange. The only
That's not the weird part.
Only
though.
things that famous people would do. But recently, we heard your name mentioned on an MLF show on the Outdoor
Really?
Channel.
That's right.
What?
Brian the Carpenter?
What the heck is
Let
going
anybody
on?
in.
What the heck's going on here, man?
It's working, Mike.
You tried pulling wool over my eyes and say you're just a common carpenter, but you're not. You're famous.
Yeah.
All right.
Ride your
World
coattails
famous.
all the way.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
What do we call it? We call our crew the non-tourage.
The non-tourage.
Non-tourage.
Yes, totally non-tourage. And sitting next to Brian the Carpenter, you saw him here on the intro, the one and only Dave Brodzik, a.k.a. Fathead, a.k.a. Wharf, a.k.a. Stormtrooper. Dave, how you doing tonight? Man in the IMs, Dave.
AKA future champ.
Future champ.
I'm already working IMs, man. What you got?
I'll vouch for the fathead part because I'm sitting where Dave just was.
Right, and what the headphones look stretched
Like
out.
they will barely stay on my head. Like if I have to be real still. And
Yeah,
sit right here.
they're not fitted for walleye heads. They're fitted for big Polish heads. Pete.
Yeah, I guess something. I think there's a little bit of brain with a whole lot of padding, and that's what's up.
And then
looking
also,
like a walleye with a Kenny Loggins beard. He's going to talk about.
Oh, here it goes.
Careful, Ott. Careful.
Yeah.
This is the beginning to the end happening right here.
Yeah, we'll take long.
And also, I'd be in big trouble if I didn't mention Eric the intern is here tonight. Eric? Yeah, Eric made a show. Yeah, and he's in here.
Quaff and all, dude.
That's right. He's got his quaff tonight. And Eric the intern's doing something really cool. Eric's going to be here all night doing some doing some video for social media. He's going to be doing some live feeds through social media. So you'll see a real skinny dude running in and out of frame all night. That'll be Eric the intern.
Yep.
Listen to this, guys. Listen to me when I tell you that's not it. We also have another list of amazing guys coming through tonight. The one and only Kevin Short will be here tonight, talking to us a little bit about how he's been, talking to us about Bass Cat. We've got the one and only Ron Champion with us tonight, actually competing in the Ike Foundation event on Saturday in the kayak division. And I see him out the whole time Dave's been talking smack. I see Ryan out here just shaking his head like, yep, you keep talking smack, Dave. You know I'm winning.
Hey, I might only have smack, dude.
Also have the Zaldanes are going to be stopping through tonight. Chris and Trait will be with us talking to Chris about what's going on with his great season. And last but not least, whoever the hell else shows up tonight. I don't know.
There's no telling. Yeah.
There's no telling.
Yeah.
Before we get into it, I want to thank all our military, active and veterans, men and women. Thank you guys for what you do. Thank you so much. It's a crazy freaking world out there. Police, firemen, EMT, thank you guys. It's freaking nuts out there. Brian Carpenter, by the way, I want to start. We're going to start right here with Ott since he's sitting next to me, but we are going to be reviewing iCast tonight at some point.
Okay.
That's kind of exciting.
Yep.
We're also going to be doing the Ike Foundation
pairings
tonight. Like literally like pulling them out of a hat.
Yes, we're going to get Becky down here to help us do that. It's going to be amazing.
So cool.
It's going to be like BFL. We should go outside. It should be outside like an old BFL, you know.
Yeah.
Make it rain some, so it's like a real BFL meeting always was. The ones I fished in anyway.
Yeah.
Outside in the rain.
That's
Walmart
actually
parking lot.
that's a good segue. This is a good segue because I want to just tell you that I think the first time we sort of officially met was FLW or Everstart or Redman or something. One of those events.
The one I'm thinking was Table Rock.
Championship.
Everstart
Everstart Championship.
Both made the top 10.
Yeah. I ran into you and Jenny, and me and Becky were there.
Yeah.
And I think it's the first. I'd heard about you before.
Yeah.
You know, I heard the rumors. You know, you hear the rumors of this kid, and at the time, you were like 16 or something, right?
That's about right. Yeah.
You know, this kid from Tennessee, this working his way. So I hadn't heard about you, but that's the first time I officially met you.
Yeah.
I knew right off the bat. It's weird, but you know, you can kind of tell. You can judge people. I can, at least, as soon as you meet them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel that, Carl?
Yeah,
do,
I do.
Do you meet people and you're kind of like right off the giddy? You're like, it's a good dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a good dude. And
Yeah.
he's got it. He's got that thing. He's gonna make stuff happen.
Right.
No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
I'm serious. You know that.
Yeah, and it means a lot to me that you would say that, and I do feel that way because once you've had a little bit of success, you know what it takes for that to happen, and you can see that in a person whether they've had it yet or not. But if their work ethic, if the way they handle things, you just see it. I mean, you know what? Once a person like yourself at that point in your career, I mean, you'd already done so much. It's like you know what it takes.
Oh yeah.
And you're able to pick up on it that much quicker.
Yeah.
Where somebody who hasn't had it, they're like, they don't know it if they see it.
Yeah.
But yeah, and that's
it was cool for me to see it because I think a lot of our viewers know you now. But back then, you know, I think a lot of our viewers just saw this guy Ott show up and start kicking ass. And they're like, where'd he come from?
Right.
But we've had a conversation before. It started a lot longer.
Oh, yeah.
It started early on.
Really early, yeah.
You were tournament fishing at a very early age.
At 9.
Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. For me, I did. I fished my first tournament with my dad when I was 9 years old. And my dad wasn't a tournament fisherman. I mean, it wasn't like he had been very successful tournament fishing. The first tournament I fished with him was his first tournament.
Yeah.
You know, so it wasn't like I was born into a family, you know, that had always grew up bass fishing, tournament fishing. So
he was a live baiter.
He was, yeah. I mean, drag night crawlers on the bottom, catch whatever you catch. And
that was my uncle, same way. Live baiters.
Yeah, you know, just whatever you'd catch is what you'd catch. And we'd always watch, my brother and myself, I've got a brother that's a couple years older, and when we'd watch all the shows on TV of Roland Martin and Lake Okeechobee.
Oh, son,
that's American.
Oh,
and
son.
Him out there, I always remember the ones of him wading around, pulling his boat behind him, fishing, and I'm like, that guy's an idiot. Don't he know there's alligators there? But, I mean, he's catching these big, giant fish. So we actually took a trip to Florida, stayed at Roland Martin's place, and hired a guide out of there. And we hired a guide out of his place that took us out, and we fished artificials. I mean, we caught them on a Charlie's worm, like a sluggo kind of bait.
Old
I mean,
school.
running down boat trails in the dark you know, and that was the coolest thing as a 9-year-old kid.
Did that what was the moment where you said, this is what I want to do? Was it that moment? Did that have a big effect?
That day.
Dude, here's what's interesting. John Cruz has been on the show several times, and he also cites a trip to Rollins when he was young as being a big factor.
Yeah.
Dude, that's amazing. I mean, a guy like Roland has had such an impact, either directly or indirectly, on so many people. Carl, I'll just jump to you real quick. Was Roland, was he iconic in Australia too, or was it not the same?
I'd never heard of him.
Wow!
Right back to reality.
I was more like, for me,
Who's that wanker with the blonde hair?
That was good.
Who's that bloke? Never met that bloke before. Yeah, it was the only thing we got that was American bass fishing was sort of Bassmaster, really, and then some of the books, but it was kind of Van Damme and sort of you, and that was my sort of era growing into it. We didn't get that super old school bass fishing. It was Australian shows and stuff like that. The only American stuff you got was if you're a hardcore sort of a bass, a tournament angler,
right?
And you had to dig into it, to find.
Yeah, it wasn't easy access. You had to really dive.
Yeah, coming over here, I had to learn a lot of different people and who had really started it, and stuff like that.
Yeah, for us, we just flip on TNN and there it was.
Yeah, Roland, Orlando Wilson, Bill Dance,
of course,
very iconic.
Yeah,
now, I'm going to put you on the spot because we love to do that here on Ike Live.
Oh, yeah.
Can you sing me the original Roland Martin song in the show? Can you just give me one verse of the Roland Martin song?
He's the great American fisherman. He'll catch him anywhere. Anywhere there's water, Lord knows he'll be there. He's just like a gypsy, mighty hard to hold. The great American fisherman's got fishing in his soul.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
That was great.
That was a little rusty on the second line.
Dude, the whole time Carl's shaking his head like, thank God we didn't get that motherfucker in Australia.
He's like, the TNN? That's not, they didn't have that over there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, Mike, you know why Bill Dance has extra deep pockets in his pants?
Why?
Why you think?
I hope that's not an Aussie accent.
It's trying to be, but
we're gonna work on it all night.
It's South Jersey and Pollock mixed into it.
European.
It's totally diluted.
A little bit of Cajun in there.
Yeah. Some Louisiana.
That's crazy. So that's interesting. I love the fact that Roland has had an impact on people and
huge,
like I said, directly or indirectly, like his resort. Dude, how many people have went to Roland's as a kid or as a young adult and said, "This is something I want to do"?
That was if you go there and they've had so many they've had so many hurricanes in recent years that the trees, even if we fished down there, and the trees that are there now are nothing like what they were back in those days. Those great big cypress trees that were so high with Spanish moss hanging. It was the whole scene. Everything about that place. You roll up to the place. It's the guy's place that you watched on TV and you've dreamed about going.
Yeah.
And you roll up there and then you put the boat in the morning.
The ramp
in the dark.
there, the marina there,
go through the locks.
Bar.
Yeah. I mean, you ease up through the
Very
locks.
Very iconic.
Yeah. I mean, and so as a young person who's so moldable at that stage in your life, and you experience that, I mean, that is all you can think about. That's all you can dream about. And I mean, that was it that day. And our guide, I don't remember much from being a 9-year-old kid, but the guide's name was Dave Lassar. He was the guy that we hired that day. Now, later in that trip, we actually went up to the north end and fished live bait and caught big fish and stuff with that. I have no idea who that guy was that took us out, but I can remember Dave Lassar taking us out in like a 361 Ranger or whatever it was,
18-footer
with a 150 on it. And I mean, dude would go down through there and hang a ride through those boat trails. And we made a wrong turn one time. He's like, "Hold on, I got to make a U-turn," and he just spins it around just barely outside the trail and goes back. It was one of those days that at that age in your life you forget no details of.
Right.
And just
were the cypress trees like on the lake and that?
No, on the rim canal. On the rim ditch.
They're all gone now.
A lot, not all of them, but it's not the mass of them that there used to be. It was just a solid, big, thick line of healthy trees. Where now it's like the hot water and the everything else is really torn up and stuff. But
now, you've told this story before. I remember it. You know, you're in high school and you had a teacher, and you're like, "This is what I want to do."
Yeah.
I know that story, but was there ever any other career path for you? Did you ever say, you know, if I don't do this, maybe I'll do this, or if it doesn't work, there was never any option B for you.
There wasn't. You know, my dad was always fully supportive of it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to be a pro fisherman, you do that. That's what, you know, you chase that dream and you do it. Mom was always like, what's your plan B? What's your backup job? I mean, there's a good chance this ain't going to work.
Yeah, right.
You need to have something to fall back on.
Yeah.
I was like, no, I'm going to try this until it, and I'll do whatever it takes to make it work.
Yeah.
You know, and Jenny and I mean, we dated in high school and got married right out of high school, and she was supportive of it. She had no idea what she was signing up for. I mean, we really didn't know at the time, you know, but she's been supportive of it all the way through, and there was times she was making a lot more of the money and paying the bills than what I was, you know, when we were getting started and stuff. So big thanks to her as well, you know, for always. Oh, dude, you know,
the ladies are so important, and we're gonna be talking to Carl and Kayla about that. Brian, is that good that somebody, a young guy, Ott back in the day, was a young kid and he had no plan B? I see it two ways. I think it's great. He didn't have any other. That was it.
Yeah, well,
there was no other
should you have a plan B?
How many dudes out there didn't have a plan B and ain't sitting on that chair right now?
That's true.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not going to say that. And with the way high school fishing, college fishing, all that type of stuff is, I mean, I'm 32, but that stuff wasn't around. I went to college one semester.
You're a bad example.
And then I went fishing the next spring. but my mindset was if I just like go out there, I'm going to fish the ever starts. It was 2003. I was going to fish them. We graduated. No, it would have been the spring of 04. It was the ever start year that I fished them first. I was like, if I totally suck, if it's just, I mean, I'm like way out of league here.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I'd fish BFLs, a lot of team tournaments. You know, some local stuff. We might go to Kentucky Lake or go to Guntersville or whatever. And I had done okay.
Right.
But it wasn't like I was just winning everything I fished. But I said, I'm going to fish this season. It was like 4 tournaments. Okeechobee was the first one. Eufaula, Santee Cooper. Then we finished up on Guntersville. So, you know, regionally pretty good schedule. I was like, I'll see how I do in these 4. And if I'm just way off the map, I'm not even close to competing, I'll do summer and fall school. Then I can fish the spring semester, summer and fall school, and I'll get through college eventually.
So you had sort of had a backup plan.
I kind of had a backup plan.
Yeah.
The first tournament went to Okeechobee. I beat 13 people out of 200.
Wow.
The next one.
That sounds like most of my Florida tournaments.
It took
every one.
It took me 5 years to ever figure out how to catch a bass down there. But the next tournament I was leading after 2 days and ended up like 6th place or something. So and then the next tournament, Santee Cooper, I got to check. It was the first time I'd ever sight fished, and I got like a 30 place check or something there. And then at Guntersville, I really didn't do that. Finished in the 80s or 90s, whatever it was. But I had 2 good tournaments, you know, especially for my first year.
Yeah.
I was like, well, maybe I don't think I need to go back to school yet.
Yeah. You had enough success to keep you going.
To keep me going, yeah. To pay for my year and a little bit, because it was, you know, the entry fees was pretty cheap then. The one that you follow, making the top 10, I basically paid for my whole year right there.
Right.
Won like 6,000 or 7,000, and that at Santee Cooper won a couple thousand. I mean, I was money ahead in 4 tournaments and what travel costs were, you know, in those days. So I was like, I think this is God saying that, hey, this was good enough. I'm going to take a stab at it. And
keep
see
you
how
going
it goes.
to the next level.
Yeah.
Keep you moving.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, real quick, everybody watching and listening right now, if you've got questions for Ott, if you want to comment, please hit us up on our instant messaging right there next to your screen. Yep. You could also send your comments to the Ike Live social feeds, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Ike Live Show. The next question for you: why do so many really amazing, good pros come from that area? The Knoxville, you know, between Knoxville and Nashville, that part of Tennessee puts out so many sticks. I mean, Carl, how many guys do we know that are from that area that are so freaking good?
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
is it, dude?
It's,
Is it the water?
Yeah, there really is something in
Because
the
send
water.
some to Brian the Carpenter.
I don't think we could bottle up enough of it to make a difference.
Bro, I was on MLF, bro.
And that is impressive considering he's never won anything bigger than
The Cooper River.
Right?
Yeah, it's the biggest event he's ever won. 10 years ago.
For me, I think it's the fact we got a lot of diverse fisheries.
Right.
There's a lot of tournaments on the Tennessee River chain, which is right there in our backyard.
Yeah.
We deal with lakes that are wintertime drawdown reservoirs. Douglas, Cherokee, over in Middle Tennessee, Center Hill. There's a lot of lakes that have that. We've got shallow grass lakes. We've got grass back in a lot of our lakes now.
Yeah.
They'd killed it off for a number of years,
Yeah.
but it's come back. So we've got some grass. And I think of the area where we live, you can get to so much else within 3 or 4 hours as well.
Centrally located.
Yeah, very centrally located. So you don't have to drive 10 hours to get to something that's that different other than tidal fisheries.
Right.
That's really the only thing. Or northern smallmouth. We've got smallmouth. Our smallmouth act like smallmouth they're supposed to.
Right.
Those up there are really, really weird. They get big and they're fun to catch, but our smallmouth to me are what smallmouth are supposed to be.
Right.
But it's the fact that I feel like we've got a good core base of every kind of technique you can want to learn, need to learn for fishing across the country. You can do it. You can do it somewhere in our area within a 2-hour drive.
It's crazy. This is actually Dave or Eric. This is a Googleable. Is that a word? Googleable?
Yes, it's a word. Googleable.
This is a Googleable question.
That was not a word.
It is now.
It is now.
No, you said Google.
And I didn't say Googans. I said Googleable.
Yeah.
This is a really good question. I wonder how many, like the majority of elite pros, I wonder if that area of Tennessee tops it. It's got to be close to being the area where the most guys are from.
Why did you ask Eric and Dave that?
Why? Because they're there. They can Google it while we're talking
They can
right now.
Google
They can Google
it.
shit.
They can
They
Google
can't
it.
Google it.
Look, Brian's all offended. You
I've
ask a
actually
question.
looked
Don't
at it.
wreck
I
that
mean,
right there, Eric.
As
That's
far
you
as a
son of
single
gun.
town,
Okay.
Yeah.
Gunnersville probably has more than anybody right now.
Right, but Gunnersville, a lot of transplants.
Right. Nobody was
Right.
there and has always lived
Right.
there. Knoxville, as far as what we've got right there that actually claimed Knoxville, we just recently moved out of Knoxville. Out of Knox County, but I was born and raised there. Brandon Coulter's lived there the majority of his life.
Yeah.
David Walker's technically in Sevierville, but has lived there the majority of his
Yeah.
life. 10 miles. He's actually across the river from Knox County.
Yeah.
Brandon Card has lived in Kentucky for part of his life, but right there as well. As far as one other town where people have lived the majority of their life, it'd have to be. But now here's the funny part. 2011 was the first year I fished the Elite Series. That was the first year there had been an angler from Tennessee, this whole state, in the Elite Series.
Is that right?
Was 2011.
Wow.
Yep.
I didn't realize that.
Myself and David Walker, and there may have been one other angler from Tennessee. We all joined the Elite Series in 2011, but that was the first year since 06, since the beginning of the Elites. There had been an angler from Tennessee in them.
It's so interesting. You see clusters. You see guys from the Carolinas, like that North Carolina area, putting out those guys. Matt Airy, Brian Thrift.
Yeah.
Montgomery and Montgomery.
Andy Montgomery.
Yeah.
God, it's like these little clusters of guys that are so good that are all from that same little area.
Yeah.
Florida guys sort of do that.
Florida
too,
guys do that as well.
Yeah.
Do that as well. It's very interesting. Speaking of Knoxville, before we get away from Knoxville,
Yeah.
a lot of guys watching right now know the Bassmaster Classic coming up 2019 will be in Knoxville. We talked a little bit about it a few weeks ago. I grilled you just on some generals. Just give me your lay. Tell these guys watching tonight, what do you think?
Where the best bars are.
No, not the best. What?
Top 10.
Everything's downtown.
Top three.
It's all right there downtown. But that's the cool part of Knoxville. It will be the most user-friendly or angler-friendly classic we've had since I've started fishing them.
Yeah.
Angler-friendly or
Yeah, because we don't have to load our boat.
You told me this. Yeah,
372 miles to weigh our fish in, then drive 372
that's
miles
fish friendly
back.
too.
I like that.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
I like that.
We really, from where the check-in is, where we will put our boats on the trailer, if we wanted to ride in the boat to the weigh-in at 15 miles an hour, 20 miles an hour, we could do that.
Oh, nice.
and it take about 5 to 7 minutes.
Do you know Mike
That's
forgot
it.
somebody in the back of his boat and drove on the highway with him?
Did they have their life jacket on?
Did you do that?
Did I do that?
Yeah, you had like a marshal or a media person, and you forgot them in your boat.
Must have had a bad day.
You were in a big hurry.
That's awesome.
That sounds like something I would do.
Hold on.
Imagine if you got back here, just like fished in Texas and started driving.
Drove the whole way. It's true though, because
Hey, Mike, was he Blake?
He still tried.
it's the worst accent. But this is great when I got two other guys that I can lean on. Admit though, Carl and I hook me up on this because I'm usually the only one.
I've never left somebody in my boat.
No,
Let's see where this
is a
goes.
different question. Support me on this because these guys look at me like I'm crazy because I'm
Right.
the only one. Dude, when you have a bad tournament, we've all had them. I had them every year. Dude, do you not just want to get in the truck and go home
as
and like
fast as
not
possible.
stop? You want to like pack that truck.
Yeah.
You want to like
Punch the truck.
Yeah.
No, you don't say punch. You want to pack the truck.
Beat that truck's ass.
You want to get out of there.
Slide
You
over
wanna,
the rare vintage
exit.
truck hood.
Yeah,
Do you guys do that, or is it just me?
No, if my family's not with me,
Yeah.
if they're not with me, dude, that's all I can do is get in the truck just as fast as possible and start driving. Beaver Lake is my nemesis.
Yeah.
It's about 12 hours from the house.
Right.
When I was fishing FLW, I would suck every time. I'd have my truck ready, and I would drive straight home. I'd be home at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Every single time.
Do you guys do that, or do when you have a bad event, you guys hang a little
We
bit?
used to until
Well,
we got
not
the
now
camper.
that the camper. Yeah.
Now it's
Right.
nice again because we're on the road and we're together. You know, it's nice to be able to just go back to the camper and
That
just,
is our house.
and just
so
yeah,
we're not in a
yeah,
hurry to
that's-
get away from it.
we actually have
We-
nowhere to
We
drive.
live in, yeah.
But does,
Where else you gotta
does the
go?
place, like for especially for you, Carl, because you're
Yeah.
in the event, like it's not even the fact that I'm leaving to get home. It's just that like
Love
I
getting
gotta
right
get the
there.
hell out of there.
Yeah,
Right.
you
Because
don't-
I got a bad taste in my mouth about everything that just went down.
And if you hang around, next minute someone that's staying at the campground that jacks them comes and has a bit of a talk to you, and you're like, you just don't want to hear it.
No,
You're like,
you don't wanna
"Oh,
hear
it's easy
anything."
and
Or
that."
it's a fan that's like, hey man, how you gonna go get them tomorrow?
Yeah.
Yeah, all the locals.
No.
Yeah.
How was your tournament?
Oh.
Came dead last.
Dude.
Thanks
Oh,
for
God.
asking.
Yeah.
I'm glad you.
I was out there today and jacked him. I don't know. It was
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah,
like,
it's always easy.
yeah.
No, it's funny you said that because my uncle Don, I love him to death, but he's the biggest fishing fan in the world. And so he knows he can't talk anything with me until the tournament's over. He knows this rule. And so now he wants to talk about it. But he does it regardless of whether I have a good tournament or a bad tournament. Dude, I love Uncle Don, so I can't break it to him, you know what I mean?
Right.
So he'll call me and I'm driving back and I'm so pissed off. I'm trying to erase it from my memory.
Yeah.
You know, I'm trying to
Burn it out.
learn something real quick, you know, and just
And then
get
just
rid
forget about
just
it.
get
Yeah.
rid of it.
Yeah.
And he calls me, "Oh man, did you see I was watching him live. Did you see him catching him on that fluke?" And I'm like, "Oh man, did you throw that?"
Why didn't you try a
Come
fluke,
on,
Mike?
Man.
I didn't try that.
Come on, Uncle
Surely
Don.
I know you love a fluke.
Everyone knows that. You gotta,
He does that to
try
me,
it.
man. It's the worst. It's
Uh,
absolutely the worst.
yeah.
Speaking of the worst, what was
Stormtrooper coming back.
No, wait.
Newsflash. Ike Live will give away one Elite Mystery Tackle Box for the winner that can guess what vintage vehicle Mike Iaconelli, drunkenly, Starsky and Hutch hood slided across at his wedding. Huntley Crock it out.
Wow. I'll give more than a mystery tackle box away if somebody can guess that.
Can I text Becky?
Yeah.
No phone of friends. No phone of friends.
Oh, no phone of friends?
No. No.
I think I know the answer.
Okay. All right. Speaking of, we're talking about miserable outcomes.
Yeah.
This is one that I've heard the grapevine. I have some good sources
Okay.
that you're starting to get a bad taste in your mouth. But I'm looking at it and I'm like, this is the best thing in the world. I want you to address this. How many times, Ott Defoe, have you come in 13th place this season, Elise? How many times have you come 13th place?
This season I've done it 3 times. I finished 14th another time. All 3 of the 13th. I missed 12th by an ounce. I would have won the tiebreaker
No
on
way.
every one of them because I had a bigger bag than everybody else on those. And the 14th one, I needed 2 ounces to make the top 12. That's why I rate my season.
yeah.
That's part of the reason. And the fact that I've had the bite And every single one of those, all 4 of
Yeah.
them, I'm going to count them.
You've had the bite to advance.
I've had the bite on the third day, just by itself on the third day,
right,
to make it easily. I mean, not even close. Now, I didn't have the bites in any of them to put myself right up there contention to win, but that would have been like my best year ever as far as the amount of top 12s.
Yeah.
4 top 12s in a year, dude, that's pretty strong.
Right. I'm going to play devil's advocate. I want to hear how you really feel. I want you to tell everybody how you really feel about those 13s. But I play devil's advocate and tell you this, that I think 13th, when you don't have a chance to win the event,
absolutely,
I think 13th place is a
it's
great
a great
place to finish.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, in my mind, I'm competitive and I want to advance too.
That's right.
But how do you really feel? How do you honestly feel?
To me, I'm when I step back from the event and I look at it based on how my practice was in every one of them, which typically wasn't very good, and I look back at it, I'm like, dude, you just left here with a 13th place finish. You got excellent points. You're not going to get the $500 more for finishing 12th as to what you would have got.
Newsflash, almost instantly, Dylan has indeed answered the question correctly. Iaconelli most certainly slid across a Rolls Royce.
Is that right? Was it a Rolls Royce or was it a Bentley?
He doesn't remember.
That's what a Bentley is.
Okay.
Brian from the hills of New Jersey. Harley Crocodile.
So that's
Dylan,
the
send your
winner.
information.
So that's the winner. Wow,
That's
congratulations. What was his name? Hudley, what was his name?
Dylan.
Dylan, congratulations. You won with Rolls Royce.
Rolls Royce, a.k.a. Bentley.
A.k.a. Bentley, I guess. I don't know. I did indeed slide across one.
That's pretty good.
Like
across the hood.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll give you the short version.
You said Starsky and Hutch. I'll say Dukes of Hazzard.
Dukes of Hazzard.
Yes.
Okay. It's a little Dukes of Hazzard slide. I'll give you a short version of the long story. So we rented this amazing car. We thought, how cool, we could have did a regular limo, but it's like these amazing cars from the 30s that are just beautiful.
I could never imagine you doing something like over the top.
I mean,
It's not in your
not just a limo.
Yeah.
Let's do like.
I wouldn't have did it. But I think both Becky and I, it's your wedding night, so you're drinking probably a little more than you would normally drink.
Yeah.
Why are we talking about my wedding?
Well, you're gonna find out in a second. So we were a little intoxicated, and it's that moment.
I was hammered at my wedding.
It's that moment when. It's that moment when the wedding's over and it's like, you're excited to leave as much as you were excited to see people. And you see this, you have this vision of this grand pull-off where people kind of wave you off and you've got the cans tied to the back.
Flying.
The doves, the cans on the back of the bump, just married written on the, it's that whole vision. And this beautiful, luxurious, vintage car would not start. It died in the parking lot. And what set me off on it wasn't just the fact that it died, but the chauffeur was such a dick to us about the car not being able to start.
It was your fault.
Yeah. And I just had it in my mind. I'm like, well, shit, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. I'm gonna do the Dukes of Hazzard. I'm gonna do the slide across the hood. And it was bad because we got a bill later because I had scratches.
You scratch it with your button.
Oh yeah,
think about the zipper on your pants.
Did it go? Did you do it?
I did, yeah, because it was all waxed and I was like, it was great. I don't regret it whatsoever.
Now, did you land on your butt on the other side, or did you make it on your feet?
No, I made it. Even intoxicated. I made it on my feet.
That's outstanding.
Hey,
Hey.
it was a gorgeous vintage vehicle with a pinstripe paint job that he had buttons on the back of his pants and it scratched all the pinstripe on this vintage vehicle. So we received a bill.
Right,
How much?
did.
I don't remember what the bill was.
Worth
I mean,
it.
at the
It was worth
time,
every
I was,
penny.
I
It was
definitely
worth it.
sweat the bill. It was.
It was so worth it. Definitely. I don't regret
No,
it.
but here's the best part. So we were supposed to get in this car to go to the honeymoon suite in a separate hotel from everyone else.
Yeah.
And so we were like, F it, let's get in the bus with everybody
We got
else.
in the bus
and we went
with everybody.
to the bar.
We went
and
to the
had hop
bar.
a cab
So I
and
didn't
our
work it
wedding
out. It
party
was
in the
probably a
morning.
better.
Love it.
It was probably a better
It was
outcome.
fun.
Yeah.
It was
Oh, that's funny.
He was in the bus with us. That's right.
I totally
Somebody
don't
had
regret
pizza
any
in
of
the
that.
front.
I forgot about the bus ride, dude.
The bus ride.
Did I show up at a good time? Can we do the pairing?
No, hold on. No.
We're still talking about my 13.
Yeah, we're talking about 13. So, getting back to that.
Yeah.
Because Hudley interrupted.
He did.
Are you sour about it or are you okay with it?
I'm mad at every one of them. I was mad at myself as soon as the day's over because I rank a successful event.
Yeah.
As fishing on Sunday. That's
Right.
to me
Wow.
a successful event.
Wow.
I mean, a good event is you made a check.
Yeah.
You finished 30, 40. You got a check.
Yeah.
To me, a truly successful event. I did basically everything I could other than win. Is I got to fish on Sunday.
Wow.
Because I mean, crazy stuff can happen. If you're not fishing Sunday, you cannot win.
Right.
To me, a truly successful event is that I got to fish all 4 days.
Yeah.
And that's the part that bothers me the most is that I missed that. Every time at Kentucky Lake, I had a 3 and a 4 pounder bite my swim jig right beside the trolling motor and didn't get it. At Sabine, I had a 2.5 pounder jump off right before I came in. And then, let's see, what was the other ones? It was Kentucky and Sabine. Martin, the last day I had like a 3 pounder smoking my spinnerbait like a buzz bait on top. Didn't get it. I didn't put a trailer hook on then. I go to the very next log and have like a 2 or 2.5 pounder wrap me up and come off. And I don't remember what. Oh, La Crosse, Wisconsin was the most recent one. I smashed them on a Terminator frog on the second day. Caught 18 pounds.
I remember that.
Caught
Yeah.
11 the first day. I mean, I sucked bad. I go out the next day, go totally blind, catch 18 pounds, and then the next, and I mean, I was like 85, 90% on my bites to catches on a frog. The next day, I'd catch like 30%, 35%, and have 14 something.
You had the bites.
Oh, had the bites for sure. Yeah. I mean, had fish come off halfway to the boat. That just doesn't happen on a frog
normally. Yeah.
And then again, don't make it by now. So
wow.
It's like every single one of them. It was so easy to have made it.
Yeah.
And it just didn't happen. So that's why I ranked my year. I mean, if you told me, hey, at this point in the season you're going to be 5th in the points, I'd say, well, that's a pretty good year. But
yeah.
And I couldn't have gained that many more points.
Yeah.
But it's just the fact that I see success in the tournament outside of winning of getting to fish every single day.
That's interesting because a lot of the guys that we've talked to, a lot of the guys I know, judge a successful event by making a check. You know, top 50 or an FLW. What's the
60.
60.
Yeah.
So that's interesting that you say that.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that's the kind. I don't know if you'd say pressure or just expectations, whatever. That's what I put on myself.
Yeah.
That's where I set the bar. And I'm not mad if I finished 25th if I capitalized on everything I could.
Yeah.
But my expectations going in is I want to fish every day.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that's what separates a lot of guys from top and the bottom. I think like you said, some guys don't come in with a plan B.
Right.
This is what you're doing.
Yeah.
You put it all in there.
That's right.
And as bittersweet as it is to get a 13th place, I mean, that's amazing.
That's a
huge.
great
out
tournament.
of 100 and how many people?
Yeah.
That's massive.
Yeah.
And some people would just be okay with it, but I think you're raising the bar all the time.
That's just
if you want to get a check and that's all you strive for, you'll come 51st.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You
know,
51st every time.
Right. You fish for a check and you finish 40th, dude. You're over the moon happy.
You got second place guys feeling bittersweet. And you're like, you just got second place.
Right.
Like me personally, but I know he'd be the same way. Second place. Like, man, I was that close.
I was talking to someone the other day about it, and I'm like, in bass fishing, there's like everyone's mad except for the person that won. There's two. There's two people in the whole tournament that are happy. The person that won and the guy that was
got
like
the last check.
100th and made it into the check like through a miracle. He's happy.
They're the only two people.
The only two. The second, he's mad as hell. The guy that comes 13th is mad. The guy that comes 51st is mad. Everyone's just mad. You got to win. You got to win or make this mega comeback and get a check.
And the guy that wins the most wins like 1% of the time.
Oh yeah.
Or what is it? Kevin wins like 3%. I mean, it's not 10% of the time.
No.
I mean, it's
very
like
small percentage.
3% of the time is the best in the world that there's ever been. And that's the expectations we all put on ourselves. I mean, that's what you want to do.
That is admirable, though.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Dave Brodzik, a.k.a. Fathead, do we have any questions coming through? I see a couple here on our social media. Do you have any coming through our IMs?
Becky's face.
What's that?
That's Becky's face.
Becky's face on the IM.
On your phone.
On your phone.
Oh, yeah. No, I was just pulling up the social feed.
Yes, people want to know, what does Ott mean?
Yeah, I saw that, too. I saw that come through.
Ott mean?
Yeah.
It's short for otter.
Your full name, Otter.
Yeah, no, it's not. It doesn't mean anything.
Ottopotamus?
It means that's what you should call me. If you want to speak to me, you should say Ott.
So what's the short version of it?
O.
Okay.
Big O.
I've actually had people think, like, because you write it. You got a piece of paper? Well, this right on.
We know what
right on Freddy the Frog.
Do you come from a long line of Otts?
It was my great uncle's nickname.
Okay.
Is
His
where it came
nickname?
from. Yeah.
Oh.
It's not my name.
Is that your full first name? Oh.
No.
All right, we're getting to something now.
I'm
Do
not
we
gonna
get
tell
to
you
know
something.
your full first name?
Nope. But see, if you write Ott as such, I don't know if you can get that on there.
Oh, yeah.
You see that? I mean, that
Get,
you
get,
saw.
get a close up here, Bri.
You
I'm working
saw
on it.
OTT.
Do your job.
I don't know if you.
There's a
you
whole
see it
lot
on
of
there?
glare. Yeah,
There's a
it's
lot of
white
glare.
paper.
Yeah.
Can I hold it closer?
Maybe with this Sharpie.
Sharpie. We need a Sharpie. Hold
Yeah.
on. We're going to get this figured out.
Still not.
Oh.
Maybe.
There you
No,
go.
there you go.
There you go.
It's
So-
like, oh.
O.
Okay.
So if you write it like that, if you don't separate the T's, if you don't make them one higher and one lower, people think it's O. So you have to do it like that.
You Americans with your painful
So you actually have to
hieroglyphics.
see Ott. But no, I mean it was my uncle's nickname. It's actually not my real name either.
What was that, Carl?
We actually do have a good question. Ott, you're going to get hit on this one.
Okay.
What's the thoughts on the co-anglers getting booted out of FLW?
Ooh, good one.
That is a good question.
That is a good one.
Especially
Who
Dave.
asked that, Dave? They deserve to win something. Look
North
what Mayhem coming
Carolina
to that
Guggen
question.
asked it.
Who did?
North Carolina Guggen.
They don't win anything.
You get nothing.
Oh, they win. They win.
They don't get anything.
Yeah. If it's anything goo or gan, you get nothing.
That's right.
They already got everything. They're good.
I think it's a good move. I mean, I really do. I've got a lot of friends that still fish over there, and I think it's the best move. Even I got my start on the FLW tour. Fished there from 07 through 2010. When the guy in the front is making his living fishing out of that boat, he doesn't need the distraction of a person in the back of the boat. Whether you want to say you're competing for the same fish or not, you are.
Right.
And the guy in the front of the boat's head, you're competing for the same fish.
Right.
At the same token of that, one of the times we fished on Fort Loudon in an FLW tour event in the summertime tournament, a guy made the top 10 because his co-angler, the guy's up here fishing a bridge pier trying to catch a keeper.
Yeah.
I mean, he ain't
Got
got
no
a limit.
idea.
He
Yeah.
ain't got a clue.
Yeah.
His co-angler fires a football jig as far as he can out the other way and lands on a school of them.
Yeah, school
And
of
right
Biggins.
out there.
Biggins, and so he goes right out there and catches 18 pounds and makes the top 10. And
Someone misses out, that figured him out.
Yeah.
exactly. So you don't have the
It changes the game. Changes the
Totally
game.
changes the game.
Yeah, changes the dynamic. Carl, I want to throw it to you. I want to throw it to you guys because you guys are immersed in FLW right now.
Yeah.
Carl, how do you feel about it?
Yeah, no, I love it. Love it. Definitely a
Yeah.
good move. I'm all for the co-anglers. I love them, and I think I was a little bit concerned about it because I'm like, man, if I took a step back and looked like, hey, I want to be a pro and want to work my way up, I'm like, that's the next generation coming up. They start small, work their way up. Next minute, co-angler in the big leagues, see the guy competing, spending like big entry fees, and then they compete, then that's their next step.
Yeah.
And I thought that's kind of taken that away, but there's just so many tournaments out there where you can fish as a co-angler.
Right.
So there's other opportunities, and for me, I loved having the co-anglers there, but they spend quite a bit of money on the entry fee, so they really want to win.
They're invested, yeah.
And so they are competing hard. They're not there to learn. They don't even watch anything you're doing. They're just fishing hard.
90% of them are
hard fishermen.
Yeah, they've got tournament jerseys on.
Oh, yeah.
Their tackle's more organized than yours.
Yes.
They've got better reels than you've got.
Yeah, and I'll say that I actually disagree with the fact of it being a good stepping stone. And here's why: because they don't learn the decision making.
Yeah,
right.
The way I never fished a tournament as a co-angler. So on one hand, I'm always going to be biased into the fact that they don't have a place at the top league.
Right.
And the reason I never did when I started off tournament fishing, and when I started in the BFLs, I asked buddies that I fished against or fished with that were 10 years older than I am, that I grew up fishing with. I said, do I need to fish as a co-angler some to get out there to learn?
Mm-hmm.
And that was just, when the BFLs were local in Tennessee and just that division. And he said, absolutely not. He said, because you can't learn out of the back what you need to learn out of the front.
Right.
And
there is a missing element as far as finding fish and making decisions.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I think we would all agree that the mental aspect of it is much more important.
Part.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, it's much more important than knowing what bait to tie on or that kind of stuff, or having good equipment or having physical ability. It's knowing, hey, I need to move, I need to change, I need to do whatever. That's the part that unless you're driving a boat, if you're just a guy riding, you may say at the end of the day, he did this wrong, he did that wrong,
right?
But you don't know that you'd have done it any different. So
Follow-up question from Guggen for life. Wants to know from either Ott or Carl your under 30 seconds your worst co-angler story.
Under 30 seconds, can you tell? I truly only have one bad co-angler story, but
you go.
Okay. It was Lake Norman. It was a bed fishing deal. It would have been 2008, I think. 7 or 8, and I drew a co-angler who was on one of the FLW teams. Get you some of that, and of course,
a co-angler on a team.
On a team.
Wow.
So one of their golden children of FLW, because they had team co-anglers as well as pros.
I remember.
Dead stick for life.
and I'm bed fishing, sight fishing deal, Lake Norman. I'm like, I'm 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning. I've got 3 or 4 in the well, whatever. Nothing big, and I pull up. I'm fishing for this fish on the bed, and I'm make 4, 5, 6 casts at it. It doesn't bite. I'm reeling in to make another cast. I'm kind of sitting back, throwing a wacky worm. He reels in. Dude, the bait lands on the bed. The bed that I've been fishing for. He's been fishing wherever. He's got the whole rest of the back of the boat.
Yeah.
The bait lands on it, and I turn and look at him. I'm like, I don't even know what to say at this point.
Right.
I just give him a look that he should have fell over.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't even know how to address this.
Right.
Like, yo, Ron.
And so I just throw my bait out there. I'm like, well, what am I going to say? How can I say this to make him understand what he's doing? And my line goes tick. I'm like, I think it just bit. I'll set the hook. I'm like, get the net. That's what I'm going to tell you is get the net, because his bait's laying in there and the fish didn't eat it. Dude, that happened 3 times that way exactly that day. His bait, I would fish for like 10 minutes. His bait would land on it. My bait would land on it and bite my bait every time. So every time he had to get the net.
How about that?
I didn't feel like I needed to say anything else. I felt like the actions were speaking for
They
themselves.
were.
Because if I would have said anything, he should have just stayed on the side of the lake, and I would have went back to weigh in.
Yeah, that's a bad one, Carl.
I've got lots, but last year I had 2 co-anglers, made 2 casts in 2 separate tournaments. Cost me $10,000 both those casts and the Forestwood Cup.
Oh, wow.
Just that one cast that just one of them caught a bedding smallmouth that we couldn't see at lacrosse, and they were on the rip wrap, and I was catching them, and he wasn't catching anything, and I was just flipping like every foot, just trying to get on a bed. One picked it up, swam off. I went to set the hook and pulled my plastic off, but like it's done. I'm gonna catch that fish every single one. And then he threw on it, and then I told him to get it out of there, and he was sort of acted like dumb. Right. Oh, sorry. Wound in, put a 4-inch wacky Senko on and a spin rod, and threw it about 3 feet to the left. And I'm like, and the wind's blowing, and I quickly flip back in there, and I'm thinking I'm gonna get it. And then I was watching it. Sure enough, he caught his 4.5-pound smallie at lacrosse.
Oh my god!
And I missed the cut. Missed the cut by 4 ounces. But yeah, I had lots of that. I drew at Cumberland this year. I was fishing, and lucky I had a good event and I caught him. But I had a guy that I told not to throw in it, like I'd catch a 3-pounder on the point. And they've got the rule now when you're in the bottom they can't fish.
Right.
So I would put the fish in the well, tag it and everything, and the second I'd be on spot lock, and when my feet would touch that deck, his cast would just go right in on the point where I just caught it. And I'd be like, and I had to explain to him. I stopped and just talked to him because he kept doing it and he acted dumb. And then a guy told me he was the most winningest co-angler on FLW.
What are his initials? KH?
I can't even remember, but
wow.
I bet that.
Kill him!
They told me that, and I was like, I know why now.
Yeah,
because he's just on top of everyone.
Wait a minute, do we have a special? What is that? Stormtrooper?
Here is that co-angler.
Hi, Stormtrooper. What is your thoughts on all this?
My thoughts are the same. They should dunk their heads in the live well and say, "Whose fish is that, mother effer?" Listen, we have a prize to announce. The winner of the next contest will win a line cutter ring, real snot, and liquid mayhem. Simply caption what an angler should say to a co-angler who casts on the bed. Thank you.
Best suggestion. Let's hear it.
Best suggestion of what the pro should say to a co-angler who cast on the bet.
Affirmative.
Okay.
This will be interesting.
This will be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll jump in real quick, and then we're gonna do something funny with Ott here.
Okay.
My worst co-angler story ever is every time I fish with Brian the Carpenter.
I knew that was coming.
he either the
rewrites
motor,
the book.
yeah, either we knock the lower unit off, or he runs me onto a sandbar. It's the worst.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Rewrites the book every trip. Every trip's a new story.
I'm telling you.
Did I ever launch you out of the back of your truck?
No.
Oh, but you did it to me.
I did do it to you. Paybacks for something you did to me
Payback's
years
something
later.
I didn't even get to do yet.
Years later.
Yeah.
It all comes full circle, bro.
Beat it.
All right.
We got suggestions already.
All right.
No, we don't have suggestions. Someone asked, "Is that a dog on the couch?" And about 10 IMs later, someone said it's a dead kangaroo on the couch.
It is a ruse.
And I feel bad now. Brian, give me a full couch on this. I
Yeah,
feel
you didn't
bad.
introduce
I
us.
didn't introduce.
Rue.
This is the world famous Rue, everybody.
She's had
Sleepy
a rough
Rue.
day.
Yeah.
A
Rue,
rough day.
Rue, I know you're listening to me. I know I like you a
She's
lot,
looking at you.
and I know you like me. You let me rub your belly. It's a very good dog.
Yeah.
Rue, you are the first dog ever on the Ike Live couch.
History.
First dog ever to make it on Ike
It's
Live.
like right
Yeah,
on
I'm
time.
sure about that. What are you talking
I
about?
thought Shryox had a
She
dog.
said,
back
she
to
said
No.
please leave me alone. I'm
Zaldane's had
trying
a
to
dog in
sleep.
here.
Nebo.
Was Nebo here?
Nebo's a
Nebo's
part
here.
of the
On the
Nebo.
casting couch?
He's
Incorrect.
the OG.
Incorrect.
He is the OG.
All right,
Ne-
Rue,
the
second
original.
dog.
Well,
Ike Iaconelli,
Nebo's
that
a
is
part of the
incorrect.
dog.
The
Nebo's
Zaldines
like-
had their mutt on the couch as well.
What's that, Stormtrooper? I didn't hear you.
The Zaldines had their mutt on the couch as well.
Zaldanes had their mud on the couch. So okay, my bad. Second one.
Sorry,
Second.
Neebs.
Yeah. All right. This is, we'd never let you leave here without doing something fun.
Oh,
and
yeah.
funny. We can only
Always.
be serious for so long.
Yes.
You know, this is like live.
That's right.
We've got a very special game we're playing tonight that I would like Dave
Oh,
Brodzik.
man.
You want to talk a little about, introduce this game we're playing tonight? We're actually
Sure.
bringing this back. We used to run this game before. We're bringing
Yeah.
it back from the coffin.
Yeah,
What
we're
do we
digging
got
it up from the grave. Ott, you're
Okay.
going to go first. Right to your right on the ground is a script. You will simply read the script in your normal accent,
Okay.
and Mike will try to determine what movie it is from.
Oh,
What
okay.
movie it is from?
All
Okay.
right.
Don't read the top. Just start reading where it says Ott.
Okay. All right. So let me, Dave. Let me get the
Ott's
script.
a solo act.
All right. So
I'm
Ott's
solo, okay.
reading a script from a movie,
from a movie.
mainstream movie.
Yes.
We're not talking about like indie film here.
No.
This is a mainstream movie.
Mainstream movie, and you need to guess what the movie is, and I ask everyone to hold back their laughs
Okay.
We can't.
Okay.
because you won't hear Ott.
All right.
All right. Hold back your lips. Okay.
I'll do my best.
Okay. So I'm just
Brian-
reading verbatim.
Yeah.
Monotone.
Yeah.
Do
hold
it-
on.
do it
I
as
wanna
you
get this
would.
good.
As you-
E,
you're
do me
trying-
a
you're
favor
trying to
real quick.
audition for a
Just
movie,
shut
Ott.
the door. Okay. Ott's got it. Okay.
Ott,
Here
you're
we
trying
go.
to audition for a movie. It's
Okay.
Sling Blade 1998, and you're trying to get that role. Go.
So that's the movie you just told.
No, I'm just trying to tell you. No, it's not. It's not. I'm just trying to.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
got
So
you.
this
I need
is
to-
serious.
okay, I got
I mean,
you. I'm
this
with
is
you.
your chance.
Yeah.
This is
This is my
Hollywood
acting
right here.
chair. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Okay.
Okay.
it up.
All right.
This isn't a game. Can you feel the tension in the air right now? No laughing. No laughing, please. I know I can. I can feel it all the way down to my plums. Getting all swollen with a light blue hue to them. The sun is dancing right off of them. Getting ready to take them to market. Fresh and juicy, ready for the pickings. All the school children are lining up to put them in their sack lunches. The children be like, hey, that plum looks good. Can I trade it for my Twinkie? I'm like, no, that is my plums.
That was really good.
Wow.
I have no idea what movie that's
was
from.
good.
I got nothing to help you with.
Oh my! He made Cliff Crochet look like Adam Sandler in one fell swoop, dude. That was amazing, man.
All right. You ready? Now, what do I win if I guess it correctly?
Nothing.
Nothing.
You get a beautiful mansion in Pittsgrove.
Okay.
with people who will never leave.
Is it East Down and Bound?
Correct.
There!
I guess I did good.
Yes. Love that.
I've never seen
Love that.
Eastbound and Down, but I guess I did good.
That was really good.
Was it
was
pretty
spot
close?
on. I knew
Really?
exactly what it was. Yes.
We also have a winner.
Wow.
We have a winner for the trifecta package:
Okay.
the ring, the scent, the
Line
snot.
cutter, Liquid Mayhem.
We got Brian Kershaw.
Kershaw.
Brian Kershaw's ghost. Yeah. That's all right. Come on. Cast in there again, and I'll have Pete Glusek wax your taint.
Wow. Okay, so
Brian Kershaw's
Brian's
Ghost.
Part 2
Yep.
is the winner. Brian's Ghost Part 2.
Yep.
Send in your information. We won't put it through to everybody. Send in your information. We'll get you out the 3-piece package. Liquid Mayhem, line cutters, and what was the other one?
Real snot, bro.
Real snot. Okay.
Yeah.
Million Mile Cast.
Million Mile.
Million Mile Cast.
You know it.
You know it is. You know it is. Let me remind everybody, you're watching a brand new Ike Live tonight. Very exciting show. We've got a ton of guys in the house tonight. You got any questions for us, please hit us up on our IM. Or let us know your question on our social media feeds at Ike Live Show. Before we let you go.
Yep.
You excited about the Ike Foundation return to the
Yes.
Delaware River?
Yeah.
That's a tough place.
It is.
But you are a river rat.
Yeah.
Deep down inside, you're a river rat.
I am. I didn't bring my aluminum boat.
That's right.
That's what I would have. If I was coming for this event standalone, I for sure would have brought my river boat.
And run up the Delaware, up past Trenton?
Up past the
Ooh.
shoals. That's what I would do for
I'd
sure.
like to see that,
That would
Bri.
be fun.
Thoughts on that, Brian the Carpenter?
I've never been up there.
Man.
Right here in your
Smallies
backyard,
up
and you've
there?
never been.
I'd really like to see what could come out
I
of
tried
there.
to go last time in my bass boat, but
Yeah.
it was a no-go.
There were some big ones caught up there.
Did you hear?
Couple guys.
Did you hear? There's a new show coming out.
What do you mean?
Ott Live.
I did.
Yeah.
I did hear
You
that.
want to give a shout out to Ott Live?
No, but I do want to give
No.
but I do want to talk about talk a little bit about you got a TV project. Talk a little bit about that, 'cause that to me is exciting.
Yeah, it is. It's the Hunt for Monster Bass. It's on the Outdoor
thanks for
Channel.
being with us tonight, Ott.
Yep. Shut down. Shut down. Cut off. Bam.
Sounds great. I'll be tuning in.
Yep. But no, this was the first season of it. We filmed 10 episodes this year. Started airing April 1st. Back early in the year.
Yeah.
And rerunning some now, but it was it was very trying. Because we were trying to catch not an average size fish.
Right.
We were going for fish that you don't necessarily catch every day.
Yeah.
And we fished in Chickamauga and ice. I mean, when a lot of the bays and stuff were frozen
Wow.
over,
Yeah.
fishing A-rig and jerk baits and stuff, and then fished a bunch in Florida. And it was a very hectic schedule because we did it all in about 5 or 6 weeks. We filmed 10 episodes. I know you have a lot of experience with that.
Yeah.
Ours was, a pretty small production, just a couple guys and stuff. But I think the quality of the show and everything that I've heard, and I kind of rank the success of that based off of what I saw, not just watching a show and be like, man, this was cool or that turned out good. I wanted to hear the viewer feedback and if people liked it, and if they thought it was engaging, and we heard a lot of positive feedback. But yeah, no, it was a lot of fun, and going to be doing that again for this next season. Going to start
That's
filming.
cool. So more of it coming.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
Did you catch any giants?
The biggest I caught on there was probably 9.5.
Oh,
I
nice.
caught at Chickamauga on A-rig.
Oh, sweet.
But in like 39 or 40 degree water.
Wow.
Just
That's
stupid
a head.
cold. It was fun.
Yeah.
But, caught some 8s. had some other 8-pound fish and stuff.
Wow.
But yeah, it was fun. It was an undertaking, but something I was glad. But by the end of it, glad we ended up doing.
Yeah.
And it was really awesome.
Do you ever see yourself coming to a point where you stop tournament fishing and just pursue TV?
I love the competition side of it so much that I think I would do both as long as I could.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the nice thing with filming is that you can kind of set your own schedule.
Right.
You're not at the mercy of somebody else. That's the
Yes.
beauty of it.
Yes.
So you can be home for your kids' birthdays and anniversaries and any of that kind of stuff because you can set your own schedule. But it's also not competition.
Yeah.
You've got to get out there and you've got to produce something. You've got to make it happen.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you don't have the competition aspect of it,
Right.
which is what makes tournament fishing in a lot of ways so appealing.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I could see it maybe at some point in time, not anywhere in the near future.
Right.
But yeah, maybe 15, 20, 30 years down, 20 or 30 years down
Yeah.
the road.
Yeah.
I could see that somewhere down there then. So.
Do you consider OT Fears a legit Ott? Or is he?
No, his is initials. I'm not sure
he's
what
bullshit Ott?
Yeah.
Fake Ott.
He's Oscar. He's Oscar Taylor Fears.
For what?
I'm not sure. I think Oscar Taylor would be pretty good initials for OT, but no, he's a T.
fought.
He's just a T short.
Okay.
At the end of the day.
All right. Fair
It is
enough.
a T-shirt. Before we're gonna take a break, I'm assuming, Bri. We just
Why don't we
keep
get
taking
Becky in here and do the pairings?
Okay.
We'll hot seat
Okay.
Ott out and Becky in.
Okay. Before
that'll
we
work.
get you out of
Yep.
the hot seat, though, I'm going to ask everybody this question tonight. And favorite new product that you saw at ICAST?
I honestly didn't get to make it around to any of the booths that weren't sponsors of mine.
Right.
So I can't say that it's a truly something new. I just saw there. But the one I'm most excited to fish is actually one that you had a hand in. Is that Tokyo rig?
Tokyo rig. Very
I really
cool.
am. You
Yep.
know, it's something that I've played around with, like a small drop shot, flipping around
Yeah.
and stuff. And I've caught fish on it, but I've not embraced it enough to be like, you know, this is something I need to do a lot.
Yeah.
But that's one that I am. I'm really excited about just putting that thing to use. I mean, it's built well. It's got everything you need in it.
Yeah.
And really trying to see, you know, what all it can help.
Yeah.
There's a time and a place.
It's a cool rig. Have you ever fished, Carl? It's they call it leadered punch shotting. So it's basically like it's got like a short wire leader from like a couple inches to maybe 6 inches.
And then the hook.
And then the
off that.
hook's above it.
Yeah, I've never done it.
Dude, it's interesting
Yeah.
because I saw it when I was in Japan 2 falls ago. Dude, I had a guy pummel me from literally pummel me from the front of the boat
Yeah.
with that thing, and it was eye opening, you know, because you think, well, you could hang with a Texas rig,
Right, yeah.
and I couldn't hang with a Texas rig, and then you think, well, I can hang with a short leader drop shot. I couldn't hang with a short leader drop shot.
Okay.
There's something about that rig that's really special,
Yeah.
and I'm curious to see guys as they play with it
Yeah.
and adapt their own
The
thing
use,
to
yeah.
it. You know.
Now, do you do 2 weights or you just do one?
I
You
like
do-
the 2 weights.
Yeah, that
my
seemed like it'd be
my
better.
deal, and that's the guy that I fished with had it rigged that way. He had it was probably a 2-3 inch wire leader.
Okay.
He had 2 opposing like
Yeah.
quarter-ounce weights,
Yeah.
worm weights. So
Yeah.
you know, one was facing up, one was facing down, and it was moderately thick vegetation we were
Okay.
fishing around. And he would get it in there and
Just
shake
like
it,
a worm?
just like a worm. He'd get it in that vegetation, holes on the edge, and he'd kind of shake it. I think it was a combination of that sound
Yeah.
of
Clacking
those 2
together.
tungsten weights and then that rigid wire keeping it up. Because I couldn't figure out why I couldn't hang with a short leader drop shot.
Right,
Because
that
I'm like,
doesn't make
it's
sense,
the
yeah.
same thing, like
Yeah.
you'd think.
Yeah.
But I think, you know, Flora or Mono,
If you drop the slack back, it's gonna sink.
it sinks and it wants to fold on itself.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Where that rigid wire, you know, he was leaving it in place to where that hook was always, that bait and hook was always
Yeah.
free swinging, and it was that far off the bottom the whole time.
Now,
Yeah.
I think that was the difference.
I'm gonna ask you this on rigging. So, on your plastic, do you go like as far up in it as you would when you initially hook it on
Yep.
to push it up on there, to where you actually kind of cover that hard ring, or do you just barely
No.
skin nose hook it to where it doesn't touch the ring?
Yeah, it's not encompassing the ring.
Gotcha.
It's basically just
Yep.
filling the eye of that hook.
Gotcha.
And you know, the one tournament I fished it this year, and I actually fished the non-leadered version of it, was
Okay.
Sabine, and
Okay.
I thought it did an awesome job. So I fished that same rig, but just with the weight below the, you know, there was no wire.
Just right up against it.
Just the weight was dangling off of that O-ring.
Gotcha.
And that was real effective.
Okay.
Fishing behind other people.
Yeah.
So I'm excited
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah.
That rig and see what people think about it.
Yeah.
Earwig on the message board wants to know, how often do you tinker with your rig?
I tinker with my rig pretty multiple times a day.
Okay.
You got to make sure you're always in the right spot.
Okay.
That's right. That's right.
And on windy days, I do prefer briefs over boxers. just go with briefs. If it's-
Windy days, briefs over.
Yeah.
Brian, what do you think about that?
I don't know.
Brian
What's the logic?
always wears boxers because he can't find briefs that fit his jump.
Here we go again.
It's a true story. Thank you for sitting in Pete's seat. That's a hard seat to fill. Pete is a large man, so
I've got some space. I mean, I could have used an extra cushion.
I started with the big Pete joke.
Go with the head.
Yeah.
I just wanted to
Absolutely.
continue.
Yeah. No, thank y'all. It's been fun.
And thank you
always
again
a
for
good time.
fishing this event.
Yeah,
I really
absolutely.
appreciate it. I mean, have you guys supporting kids fishing? It means a lot to me.
No,
it really
and
does.
it I know you'll get tired of hearing it over the weekend, but what you all, you and Becky, what you all do to give back, it's not easy, and it's a lot of time, and we really let's all give Mike a round of applause, because
Absolutely.
Mike and
appreciate
Becky,
it.
because you
I
all,
appreciate
it's very selfless, and I know this is, I mean, you all are very very busy people, and what you're doing to make a difference. We talked about Roland Martin making a difference in my life and John Cruz, and it wasn't from having met him. It was just from having watched the show that he produced. That was something that, I mean, it was part of his livelihood, but it was because he loved fishing, and he wanted other people to go fishing. That's why that trip to Florida is what did it for me. There's some kid out there watching that will see something that you do that becomes a fisherman, and it's even like Carl having watched it growing up, and that you were one of the people who and going to the Classic as a kid. You were always one of the ones I looked up to. I'd met you a lot of times there that you didn't remember me. When we first met that time at Table Rock was when we were competing against each other. But the Classics I went to as a kid, especially the one in New Orleans where you never gave up, that was a moment that I didn't forget as a kid going to it and watching. That's a difference that you're making out there right now. And stuff like this foundation that you put your time and your heart into, it really does mean a lot.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Well, both you guys are changing the sport as well, and we got to keep new people coming, especially kids. So thank you. Thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Ott Defoe, everybody. Listen, here's what we're going to do. I think Brian the Carpenter, everybody hang in there with us. We're going to have Becky come in. You want to do the...
Taking a break.
You want to take the break now, or you want to have Becky come in?
Taking a break.
We're going to take a break. Okay. Hang in there with us. When we come back, listen to me. Hang in there with us. When we come back, Becky's going to sit down. We're going to do the pairings for the Ike Foundation Pro-Am. I know a lot of the amateurs right now are sitting on the edge of their chair. They're hoping they draw these two guys right here. You're going to find out when we come back directly from Becky and I. And right after that, Ron Champion joining us, and we're going to talk kayak fishing. We're going to talk Hobie. We're going to talk a lot of stuff. And then, of course, we're not letting Carl and Kayla go anywhere. They're going to be with us all night. We're going to be jumping back. And Rue, too. We're going to be jumping back to them.
Dead. Yeah, she's gone.
Hang in there with us when we come back. More of the new Ike Live.